Ladies and gentlemen, the secret word tonight is wall. W-A-L-L.
Really?
You bet your life. More than 3,000 DeSoto Plymouth dealers of America present Groucho Marx in You Bet Your Life, the comedy quiz series produced and transcribed from Hollywood. And here he is, the one, the only...
Who? Oh, that's me. Well, here I am again with $1,500 for one of our couples.
We asked for married couples to volunteer tonight, Groucho, and just before we went on the air, we selected Mr. and Mrs. Melvin Cole. And here they are. Folks, meet Groucho Marx.
Well, welcome, youngsters, for the DeSoto Plymouth dealers. Say the secret word and divide $100. It's a common word, something you find around the house. Mr. and Mrs. Melvin Cole, eh? And what is your hometown, Mrs. Cole?
Chicago, the north side.
Oh, the north. In that case, I'll take the north side. It's much more scenic than the south side. You two don't seem very large. How tall are you, Melvin?
Well, sometimes I'm 5'3", and sometimes I'm 5'5". When I went in the Army, I was 5'3".
You mean you shrunk purposely? Huh? And what is your first name, Mrs. Cole? I can't keep calling you Mrs. Cole. Right?
Well, you can call me Ann, but my real name is Anniversary.
Yeah, well, when is your anniversary?
Well, I was called that because I was born on my parents' 4th wedding anniversary.
Oh, I see. Do you ever call yourself Versary? I mean, always stick to the Anna? How tall are you?
Ann. I'm 4'10" and a half, without heels.
Mm-hmm. Are you referring to Melvin when you say that? What sort of work do you do, Melvin?
We're closet decorators, Mr. Marx.
I beg your what's that?
Closet decorators.
You work for Fibber, McGee, and Molly?
No, but they probably need us.
You're in closets. Well, we probably met before, haven't we? Just what do you mean you're in the closet business? I never heard of a closet business.
Well, we do everything for the closets that an interior decorator does for the rest of the house. We do...
That's pretty underhanded, isn't it? Huh?
Well, it's an inside job.
Is that one of the jokes of the profession?
No, after we take the skeletons out, that's what's left.
You take Red Skelton out of the closet and put Fibber McGee in, eh?
We've never met him in the closet yet.
Well, what do you do while Melvin is rattling around the closet saying, what do you do?
I'm in the closet business with him.
Well, you two must hang around a lot together, eh? Well, you're the prettiest closet maker I've ever seen.
Thank you.
Well, you're a nice couple, and if you come to my house, Mr. and Mrs. Cole, I'll be glad to throw you in the furnace. And if you don't like that, Mrs. Cole, I'll be glad to carry you to Newcastle. Now, in just 1 minute, you're going to play You Bet Your Life for a chance at the $1,500 question. But first, I'd like you to pay close attention to something instructive.
Take the 5-mile trial.
Take the 5-mile trial.
Your DeSoto Plymouth dealer invites you to take the 5-mile trial in a new DeSoto Fire Dome 8 or a DeSoto Power Master 6. He wants you to get behind the wheel yourself so you can appreciate the difference in DeSoto. For example, in the Fire Dome 8, the exhilarating feel of power as you touch your toe to the accelerator and call on the mighty new 160 horsepower DeSoto Fire Dome V8 engine. Driving up steep hills and through stop-and-go city traffic, you'll discover the tremendous acceleration and reserve power of this mighty DeSoto V8 engine that gives you more power from every drop of gas and on regular gasoline. The new DeSoto Fire Dome V8 engine is years ahead of every other type of passenger car engine built today. So here's your chance to try the sensational new DeSoto full power steering, power brakes, and all the other great new DeSoto features. Visit your DeSoto Plymouth dealers tomorrow for a 5-mile trial in a new DeSoto, either the Fire Dome 8 or the Power Master 6. And remember, all dealers who sell DeSoto also sell Plymouth, the low-priced car most like high-priced cars.
Here we go. Let's see how high I can bill you $20. From our list of 20 categories, you selected number 10, creators of famous movie roles. Here's your first question. How much will you bet?
20.
Talk up, kids.
Let's
20.
bet $20.
$20. Okay. Who created the role of Frankenstein's monster?
Boris Karloff.
Boris Karloff is right.
Off to a good start. You have $40.
Remember, you're going for $1,500. Now, how much of the $40 are you going to try this time?
Shoot the works.
40.
Who created the part of Lynn Belvedere?
Clifton Webb.
Clifton Webb is right.
Really climbing. You have $80 now.
Here's your third question. How much of the 80?
80.
80. Who created the role of Pa Keppel?
Percy Kilbride.
Right.
You now have $160.
You certainly picked a category that you knew. Here's your last chance to be the other couples. How much are you going to bet?
All of it.
All of it.
Oh, this kid's a gambler, huh? Who created the kindly Dr. Christian?
Gene Herschel.
Gene Herschel is right.
And you'll wind up right up at the top with $320.
$320. Thanks and good luck from the DeSoto Plymouth dealers.
We asked for housewives with interesting occupations to volunteer tonight, Groucho, and just before we went on the air, Mrs. Ruth King and Mrs. Sylvia Treichler were chosen. And here they are. Ladies, meet Groucho Marx.
Well, welcome. Welcome to You Bet Your Life. Say the secret word and divide $100. It's a common word, something you find around the house. Mrs. Ruth King and Mrs. Sylvia Treichler. Treichler or Treichler? Treichler. Who is Sylvia?
That's me.
Thanks. I've been asking who is Sylvia for 40 years. And at last tonight I've found you. Hot diggity. Mrs. Ruth King. Ruth, where are you from?
I'm from Alabama.
Have you got a banjo on your knee? What have you got on your knee? Anything?
Water.
Water, huh? They're all too smart for me tonight. May I ask your age, Ruth? I know that's a kind of an impudent question, but we do that here.
Yes.
I can ask you, huh? But you won't answer, is that it? Well, that's your privilege. You don't have to. How old are you, Sylvia?
27.
27. Let's say you're 27, too.
I'm fine.
Where do you live, Sylvia?
Out in the valley, Sherman Oaks.
Oh, Sherman Oaks. Were you born in Sherman Oaks?
No, in Zurich, Switzerland.
Oh, well, is that near Sherman Oaks? And Mrs. King, do you do anything besides housekeeping?
Well, in my spare moments, I'm writing my autobiography.
Oh, really? Who's this autobiography about? Isn't it unusual for a housewife to write a book like that?
Well, I haven't always been a housewife. When I was much younger, I did some flying.
You did some frying?
Flying?
Oh, flying. I don't hear very well. You'll have to... The glasses... Bifocals. You don't hear well with bifocals. You say you did some flying?
Yes.
And where did you fly? I mean, what kind of flying have you done?
Well, I was the first girl to attempt to fly across the Atlantic Ocean.
Wait a minute, you... Well, that was Ruth Elder that flew across the ocean. That's you?
Yes.
Well, it's a great pleasure to have you here, Ruth.
Thank you.
You were big headlines back there in, when was it, around?
In 1927.
27. I remember you very well.
Thank you.
I didn't remember Columbus. Whatever made you decide to fly the Atlantic?
Well, on the day that Lindbergh made his landing in Paris, I was in a beauty contest, and word was flashed to us that Lindbergh had made his landing. Mm-hmm. And I decided right then that someday some girl would make that flight, and I decided that I would be the one to do it.
Oh, you had a lot of nerve, didn't you? Huh? How much later was this after you made this decision? Huh?
5 months later. 5 months later, I was flying across the Atlantic Ocean.
Uh-huh. And not in a bathing suit, huh?
No, not in a bathing suit.
How long did it take you to fly across the Atlantic?
we were in the air for 35 hours. We had 3 hours to go, but we were forced down at sea.
Well, how long had you been flying when you decided to try the Atlantic?
Oh, I'd never been up in an airplane.
You'd never been up before,
No.
huh? How long were you in the water before you were rescued?
Just about an hour.
Is that how you got water underneath?
Last all these
All
years?
right. You'd never flown, and you decided to fly across the ocean, huh? I suppose if you decided to learn piano, you'd hire Carnegie Hall for your first recital. After you started your trip, how did it go, Ruth?
It went very well. The first night, as far as weather was concerned, the weather was...
Were you scared?
Oh, yes.
Huh? You were.
Yes.
Well, you're honest about it, anyhow. Most people lie about those things, you know.
Oh, I was scared. But the flying was very difficult because we had 10 cans of gasoline packed in the tail surface of the plane, which made the plane very tail heavy. And of course, you know, we didn't have the planes of those days as we have today.
No, of course not.
So the first night was wonderful. The second day was all right, except the flying was still difficult. Holding the plane on an even keel was difficult. And then in the afternoon, we ran into a terrific storm. And we battled the storm all night long. And
Couldn't
we
fly
were
above
tossed. We couldn't get above it. We couldn't get under it, and we couldn't get around it. And it was sleeting and lightning and rain. The rain was a perfect wall of water on the windshield.
Wall! You said wall! You said wall, that's the secret word, so here's $50 for you, and here's $50 for you. Now you can get your knee fixed, Ruth. You get yourself a pump for $50 and pump that knee, eh? Well, you were getting close to the other side, eh? There was this perfect wall of water. She's pretty cute at that.
Well, during the storm and the plane being thrown around the way it was, our oil line broke. And we began to lose altitude, and we knew that we were going down at sea. And, of course, every white cap in the distance to me was a boat, because I was looking so hard for one. And finally, we did sight. When we were about 600 feet off the water, we sighted this little oil tanker.
You certainly were lucky.
We were very lucky. It was the only ship within 300 miles radius, and it had left its port 3 days late, and was also off its course because of the same storm we had been fighting.
And then you proceeded to France?
Well, eventually, yes. It took us a long time to get there because the little tanker was on its way to Texas, and we didn't want to go to Texas, but they did take us to the Azores.
They were carrying oil to Texas? Things have certainly changed in the last 25 years. Sylvia, do you remember Ruth Elder's famous flight?
No, I was just a baby at the time.
Sylvia, there's a boat leaving for Switzerland in the morning. Well, it's been a pleasure to have you both here. All right, now you're going to play. You're going to play You Bet Your Life. But first, I want to remind you to see the new DeSoto Fire Dome 8. It's a great car. Are you ready? Now, you decide on one answer between you. I can't tell you how much you have to win. George is going to remind our listeners. George is hiding outside in the doghouse.
The married couple won $320, and the secret word is wall.
Let's see how high I can bid you $20. You selected events and personalities of the Roaring Twenties. You ought to be good at this, Ruth. Here's your first question. How much will you bet?
Let's bet $19.99.
All right, fine with me.
Why, Ruth, you're flying the ocean again. All right. One of the greatest of all amateur golfers was the quiet perfectionist from Atlanta. What is his name?
Bobby Jones.
Bobby Jones is right.
On your way, you have $39.99.
Now, how much of the $39.99 are you going to bet?
Let's bet $39.98, huh?
All right.
What do we got to lose?
$39.98. All right. The canasta of the 20s was a game played with ivory dominoes imported from China. What is the name of this Chinese game? Talk it over.
You know what it is.
How does it look?
Oh,
How does it look?
Mahjong.
Mahjong is right.
You now have $79.97.
Mahjong. Isn't that, in French, isn't that Mr. Mahjong?
I don't know.
I don't know either. Eh? All right, you have $79.97. Now, how much are you going to bet on this?
96.
Hmm?
96.
We got 79?
Yeah,
79, 97.
Oh, sure. We'll save a penny.
Yeah.
Makes it 79.96 you're betting, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Here's the way they do it on some quiz shows. One of the most popular writers of the 20s was an author of the book Main Street and Babbitt. What was his name? You've got 15 seconds to decide on this. He wrote Main Street and Babbitt. What was his name?
Been hacked?
One answer between you.
I can have one.
I'm sorry, the correct answer is Sinclair Lewis.
You have 1 cent left.
You have
Oh,
1
no.
cent left.
Let's fly high on that
Dear,
one.
we're fine.
How much you gonna bet?
We better
How
bet
much
the
can
whole
we?
thing.
All right, you're going to bet the whole thing. The first woman to swim in the English Channel was the 19-year-old butcher's daughter from New York. What was her name?
Trudy. Trudy Adderley.
Gertrude Adderley is right. I'm sorry. That's
Thank
Gee,
you so
wait a
much.
minute.
Wait a
Wound up
minute.
with 2 cents, Groucho.
Oh, nobody
Goodness.
leaves here with 2 cents
No.
except me. Give you one question. Get this right, and we bring your winnings up to $25. So you're now going for $24.98. I guess I'm pretty good on that. Ready? In what city is the San Francisco Opera House? San Francisco is right. Thanks and good luck from the DeSoto Plymouth dealer.
Groucho, we invited some girls from a testing bureau to the show tonight, and just before we went on the air, our studio audience selected Miss June Duran, and her partner is a baseball umpire, Mr. Jack Powell. And here they are. Folks, meet Groucho Marx.
Welcome for the DeSoto Plymouth dealers. Say the secret word and win $100. It's a common word, something you find around the house. A baseball umpire, eh? I'll get around to you in a minute. I'm saving you, old boy. Where are you from, June?
From Los Angeles,
Los Angeles, huh? How old are you, June?
31.
31. You don't look it. I thought you were about 23.
Thank you.
You're very well preserved. Are you married?
Yes, I am.
Let's forget the whole thing. Mr. Powell, where are you from? Foul Ball, Texas?
No, Peoria, Illinois.
I knew he'd be from a town where there's a brewery. He's got a hops on his fast one, I'll bet. Are you married?
Yes, sir.
Typical umpire, another wrong decision. Hey, this is fun. I like this. Are you British?
No.
Well, I read someplace that the sun never sets on the British Empire, and I just... Just checking, that's all. June Duran, is that right?
That's right.
Where is it you work, June?
Well, I work at the California Test Bureau.
Testing Bureau?
That's right.
Well, what do you test?
Well, we test people.
Are you testy yourself?
Well, no, well, we test people for educational and vocational guidance, and we also test for aptitude testing.
What is that? What's an aptitude test?
Well, an aptitude
I
test...
had a very good aptitude. I had about 3 steaks for dinner tonight.
Well, an aptitude test is we'd give a type of a test we'd give you to see your strengths and your weaknesses and your potentialities, what type of work you should be doing, and your levels of interest.
My levels of interest? You won't get very far with me, June. My interests don't happen to be on the level. Well, let's go crooked. Let's get back to you again. Huh? How many umpires are there in a game of baseball?
Either 3 or 4.
That's more than many teams have ball players. Well, make up your mind. You're not behind the plate now. What do you mean, either 3 or 4?
Well, we have 14 umpires. And when all the teams are playing, there's only 4 places they can go.
You're wrong. There's 5 places they can go. All right, what are the other 3 places they can go?
Well, they rotate.
They do, huh? Well, they're dizzy enough to rotate. What do you mean they rotate?
Well, the first day the umpire will work behind the plate. The next day he'll work at third base. The next day at second base. And the next day at first base.
I see. Now, suppose a catcher is really angry at one of your crooked decisions.
Crooked decisions?
Yeah.
What do you mean, crooked decisions?
Well, one of the honest decisions. What can he do about it?
Well, he can protest as long as he protests in the right respect and manner.
Like
By
what?
not using any profanity or anything like that.
He's not allowed to use profanity?
No, sir.
He should be respectful at all times, is that it?
That's right.
You mean he should say, like, dear sir, isn't it possible? Your judgment may be a trifle faulty in this matter. You jake, you. Suppose the player does protest in a gentlemanly manner. Do you accept the protest?
Absolutely.
What do you do about it?
Nothing.
You ever change your decision, you robber, you?
Robber? Where do you get that? Robber.
Here's the way DeRocha goes.
He don't get very far when he goes that way either, does he?
Well, he got Lorraine Day.
That's one break he got.
Have you ever admitted that you made a single mistake?
No, I haven't.
You mean to tell me in all your umpiring you've never made a single mistake, Jack?
I may have made them, but I never admitted them.
Just as I thought. Crooked as the day is long. And the days are pretty long these days. Why don't you admit them, Jack, like a man?
Well, I'll tell you, Groucho. I never made a mistake from my heart when I was umpiring a ball game.
What are the requirements for an umpire?
An umpire must have honesty, integrity, good eyesight, and plenty of intestinal fortitude.
Wouldn't it help if you knew a little about baseball? Well, I've kidded the umpire, but as an old blown-in-the-bottle baseball fan, I know umpires are necessary, honest, and help to make the game a great one. This is a lie, but I thought I'd better say it. Put it there, Jack. I've watched you for many years, and you're a great umpire.
Thanks, Groucho.
Let's play You Bet Your Life. Run you $20 no more than the other couples. I can't tell you much after win, but George is going to remind our listeners.
The married couple still lead with $320.
You selected songs about sports as your category. Here's your first question. How much of the 20 are you going to try? Talk it over. You have one decision between you.
Well, shall we get 1975?
Sure, 1975.
1975. Give me the title of this song. Play, Jerry. The hunting we will go is right.
You now have $39.75.
Now you're going for $1,500. This is just chicken feed. How much of this money are you going to go for?
39, okay.
$39 out of $39.75. What is the name of this song? Hamtown Races is right.
You're to have $78.75.
Here's your third question. How much are you going to bet?
78.
78. Let's see if you can identify this song. Okay, Jerry. Talk it over.
The Skater's Waltz.
Skater's Waltz is right.
Now have $156.75.
And here's your last chance to beat the other couples. How much are you going to go for?
All of it.
Shoot the works. All right, this is extra inning game. Play it, Jerry. Sailing, sailing. Pretty straight.
You wind up with $313.50. And that means the married couple with $320. In just 1 minute, get the chance at the DeSoto Plymouth $1,500 question.
Oh, I'm sorry, but you did pretty well with that, Jack.
Pleasure to be here, $3,300,000,000. That's the staggering cost of 1 year's motor vehicle accidents. So reports the National Safety Council. And many of these accidents can be avoided. It depends on you. If your car isn't as safe as it can be, get a trustworthy safety checkup at the place that knows your car best, at your DeSoto Plymouth dealers. You'll find the expert mechanics at a DeSoto Plymouth dealers are experienced in all types of car repair. Not only that, they get frequent training in factory methods to keep them up on the latest and quickest methods of servicing your car. These master technicians have the finest, most up-to-date equipment to work with, enabling them to do a better job at a reasonable price. And incidentally, if your car should need parts, your DeSoto Plymouth dealer can supply you immediately with the right factory-approved parts. So don't take chances with your safety or your family's safety. Stop in for a thorough safety checkup where you see the familiar sign of better service, the friendly sign of a DeSoto Plymouth dealer. Well, here's the winning couple, Groucho, all set for the DeSoto Plymouth $1,500 question.
Well, here's your chance to get out of the closet permanently. Here we go for $1,500. I'll give you 15 seconds to decide on a single answer between you. Think carefully and please no help from the audience. You ready? According to the Bible, Moses led the Israelites in their flight from bondage in Egypt to the promised land in Palestine. For $1,500, what is this great migration called? Talk it over. What's the answer you two have decided upon?
The flight out of Egypt into Lebanon.
No, I'm sorry. The correct answer is the Exodus.
Oh.
So that means the big question next week will be worth $2,000. Well, you lost the big money, but how much did they win the quiz, George?
All the way, $320.
Well, that's only been done twice, I think, in the history of our show. Congratulations, and thanks to both of you,
Thanks.
and to all of our contestants on the show tonight.
Be sure to tune in again next Wednesday night at the same time for the Groucho Marx Show, when the big question will be worth $2,000. And don't miss Groucho's television show, also presented by the DeSoto Plymouth Dealers of America. And remember, all dealers who sell DeSoto also sell Plymouth. Two great cars, both products of the Chrysler Corporation.
And when you drive in, tell them Groucho sent you. Good night, folks, and remember, see DeSoto Fire Dome 8 tomorrow.
Council. Make safe driving a habit. Check your car. Check accidents. You Bet Your Life, transcribed from Hollywood, is produced by John Goodell. Directed by Robert Dwan and Bernie Smith. Music by Jerry Fielding. This is George Fenneman signing off for the more than 3,000 DeSoto Plymouth dealers from coast to coast. Ladies and gentlemen, the secret word tonight is clothes. C-L-O-T-H-E-S.
Really?
You bet your life.
Thought I'd give
The more than 3,000 DeSoto Plymouth Dealers of America present Groucho Marx in You Bet Your Life, the comedy quiz series produced and transcribed from Hollywood. And here he is, the one, the only...
just a flash in the pan. Oh, that's me. Well, here I am again with $2,000 for one of our couples.
Groucho, we have a bachelor and a
You
spin...
stand there all day. You can go ahead. You can
I was waiting for the cue.
doing the show long enough to know when to come in.
Groucho, we have a bachelor and a...
Not on strings, you know. Put you on the Howdy Doody show.
Roger, we have a bachelor and a spinster for you. They were selected from our studio audience just before we went on the air.
A likely story.
Miss Mary Francine Tyler and Mr. Navak Kurnik. Meet Groucho Marx.
Well, welcome for the DeSoto Plymouth Dealers. Say the secret word and you'll divide $100. It's a common word, something you see every day. Mary Taylor, is that you?
Tyler.
Tyler, oh. Were you ever president of the United States, Mary?
I never was.
No. How old are you, Mary?
82 years old.
Really? Well, you certainly don't look it, Mary.
Thank you.
You look about 58.
Well, thank you very much.
How young are you, old boy?
77.
77? Well, you don't look it. You look about 58. Mary, will you marry this fellow?
No.
Well, that's a direct answer, all right. No equivocating here. Mr. Koenig, you're the bachelor. Your first name? What is your first name?
Navak.
What's that?
Navak.
Navak Koenig?
Yeah.
Sounds like an old lady eating popcorn. Navak Koenig. What'd you get an alias like that?
In Russia.
In that case, I suggest you take it up with the Security Council. What part of Russia did you flee from?
I come from the state of Minsk.
Minsk?
Yeah.
Oh, I know. That's about halfway between Omsk and Unsk, isn't it?
No, it is between Moscow and Warsaw.
Oh, is that near the Volga?
No, far away from the Volga.
Is there really a Volga there?
There is, yeah.
You know, there is no Swanee River. They've been singing about it for years.
No, they don't sing much that Swanee River there.
They don't sing about much in Russia about anything, do they?
Not now.
No. What did you do in Russia?
I was
besides
there
run?
in the lumber business.
You were in the lumber business?
Yeah, I used to buy the timber from the government and work them out, and then I ship them over to Germany.
Oh. And they invented lumber, didn't they?
They invented, yeah.
They do a remarkable job over there. Now, Navak, how old did you say you were?
77.
Well, you're a very young-looking man. You're 77, and Mary is 82. 82. Why, he's barely dry behind the ears. Huh? Mary, are you going to let 5 years stand between you and ultimate happiness?
No. I'm happy as I am.
Yes, but think of poor Navak. Alas, poor Navak, I knew him well. What kind of a woman are you looking for, Navak?
I am not looking for anything.
These kids are nuts about each other. Well, stop beating around the bush. If you're not looking for a woman, how do you expect to get married?
I don't expect to get married.
Playing hard to get, eh? How devilish clever these Russians are. We see through your little game, Koenig. Mary and I weren't born yesterday, you know. Navak, why are you so sour on matrimony? Come clean now. Did something happen when you were a youth? Pretend you're lying on my couch and I'm taking notes.
When I was about 40 years in this country, the women began to shoot their husbands, and quite few cases. And the jurors freed them every time. And I didn't want to make a shooting gallery for women.
Well, every woman doesn't carry a rod, you know. How are you with a gun, Mary? Do you think you could plug him at 50 paces?
No, he'd be perfectly safe in front of my gun.
Well, how are you with a bow and arrow?
Can't use that either.
Have you ever come close to marriage?
Once in a leap year, a girl proposed. Where? In a leap year, a girl proposed to me.
In a leap year? Where is that? Is that...
that was in the city of brotherly love, Philadelphia.
In Philadelphia?
Yeah. But I liked the girl also, but I disliked her, the mother, the future mother-in-law.
The old lady have a rifle? Or?
No, didn't have, but
Why didn't you like her? Why didn't you like the mother?
In general, I am against mothers-in-law.
Now, what happened? You met this girl and you
Yeah.
were enamored of her?
Yeah, and I like the father very much. But I told him that on account of your wife, she will always give us trouble. So he wanted to induce me that he will keep her away from us.
Did he like his wife?
I don't know, because I asked him once. He used to take her, wherever he goes, he used to take her alone. So I asked him once, why is it that wherever you go, you take her alone? He says, Sonny, it is better than to kiss her goodbye.
Certainly a logical answer, all right. Well, it's been pleasant talking to you two, and Nabak, if you should get married, be sure to let us know, huh? Or to be sure to let Mary know, huh? You haven't got a mother-in-law, have you?
No.
No. See, you'd be perfectly safe there. Well, in just 1 minute, you're going to play You Bet Your Life for a chance at the $2,000 question. Right now, please stop making sheep's eyes at each other and listen to some wonderful advice.
Take the 5-mile trial.
Take the 5-mile trial.
Visit your DeSoto Plymouth dealers tomorrow for a 5-mile trial in a new DeSoto. Behind the wheel of the DeSoto Fire Dome 8 or the DeSoto Power Master 6, you'll be able to judge for yourself the real meaning of DeSoto full power steering. Making sharp turns, driving over the roughest roads, you'll have absolute control, and with almost no effort. When the car is standing, or when you're trying to park, you'll find you can turn the steering wheel with one finger. It's as easy as that. You see, DeSoto power steering is not partial, but full power steering. It works for you not just some of the time, but all of the time. It's one of the greatest advances in driving convenience and safety in years. Try DeSoto full power steering in the new DeSoto Power Master 6 or the mighty DeSoto Fire Dome 8 with the 160 horsepower V8 engine. Go to your DeSoto Plymouth dealers tomorrow and take the 5-mile trial.
And when you do, tell them Groucho sent you.
And remember, all dealers who sell DeSoto also sell Plymouth, the low-priced car, most like high-priced cars.
All right, now let's see how you work together as a team. Fire Dome Fenneman, would you mind explaining the rules?
You bet as much of your $20 as you want on each of 4 questions, and the couple that earns the most money gets a chance at the $2,000 DeSoto Plymouth question later on in the show.
Here we go. Let's see how high I can build you $20. From our list of 20 categories, you selected number 19, weights and measures. Is that right?
Yes.
Here's your first question. How much of the 20 are you going to bet? And talk right out loud.
How much? 19?
Sorry,
19.
19, okay. How many feet in a statute mile?
In what?
In a mile. How many feet in a mile? A straight
In
mile.
what?
In a mile.
In
Mile,
a mile.
M-I-L-E.
5,280.
That's right, 5,000.
Well, you're on your way. You have $39.
Remember, you're going for $2,000 tonight. Now, how much of the $39 will you try this time?
38?
38. All right, how many square feet to the square yard?
144.
How many square feet to the square yard? Now, think it over.
9 square feet, 1 square yard.
That's right. 9 is right.
You now have $77.
Here's your third question. How much of the 77B will you go for?
78.
You only have...
Oh, 76.
Even I can't do that.
If you want to bet 78, you'll have to give me $1.
No, 76.
76. All right, how many ounces to the pound? This is Avoirdupois weight. How many ounces?
16.
16 is right.
You now climb to $153.
And this is your last chance to be the other couples. How much of the 153?
153.
Shoot the works. Here we go. How many pints to the gallon?
8.
8?
Yes.
All right, 8 is right.
And you wind up with $306.
Thanks and good luck from the DeSoto Plymouth
Thank
dealers.
you so much.
Groucho, we invited some women who work at the draft board to the program tonight. Just before we went on the air, Mrs. Helen Hummel was chosen. Her partner is a gentleman from our audience, Mr. Paul Grimes. And here they come. Folks, meet Groucho Marx.
Welcome to You Bet Your Life. Say the secret word and divide $100. It's a common word, something you see every day. Mrs. Helen Hummel and Mr. Paul Grimes, eh? Helen, Mrs. Hummel, where are you from?
I'm from Indiana, Hartford City.
Mr. Paul Grimes, where are you from?
I was born in Moberly, Missouri. That is, not exactly in Moberly, about 4 miles out on Coon Creek.
But you actually were born, though, huh? Are you married?
Not yet.
Well, you should have been here a while ago. Your name is Navak Kornick, is it? Have you got a girlfriend?
I sure have. A swell one.
Are you sure it isn't puppy love? How serious is this romance? Have you proposed to her?
I proposed to her 3 times.
Kind of pressing your luck, aren't you? Never whip a tired horse, you know. When did you do this proposing?
Well, the first time was about 27 years ago.
And she's just making up her mind now? Where did you ever find such an impetuous girl?
Found her in Moberly, Missouri.
In the creek? What happened when you proposed to her 27 years ago?
She married another man.
You proposed and she married another fella, huh? Are you always that lucky? What happened then?
Well, that marriage didn't work out, so a few years later I proposed again.
What happened the second time you proposed?
Same thing.
Paul, it seems that every time you open your mouth, you put somebody else's foot in it. Well, congratulations. What stage is this romance in at present?
Well, I proposed again.
Good for you. Who's she's going to marry this time?
Me.
Well, that'll teach you to let sleeping dogs lie, Paul. Let's see now. What is it you do, Helen?
I'm the head of the Selective Service Local Board 100, Hollywood Draft Board.
The draft board?
Yes.
Well, if I've said anything to offend you here, As a matter of fact, it doesn't affect me at all. If Grant couldn't get me, I doubt if you'll be able to swing. What sort of work do you do, Mr. Grimes?
I'm information assistant to the director of the County Air Pollution Control District, Los Angeles County.
Oh, a night watchman, huh? Could you make that a little shorter and break it down into small words so I would know what you're talking about?
Well, I handle public relations for Air Pollution Control District.
Well, some of my relations are polluted, but I have nothing to do with it. Could you make it still shorter? What are you talking about?
Smog.
Smog, eh? No wonder she wouldn't marry you. She couldn't see you. Now, in your own smoggy way, just what do you do?
Well, I work for the Air Pollution Control District. I give out the information about it.
In that case, I'd like some information. What are you doing about smog?
Getting rid of it.
Well, I don't object to you getting rid of the smog in Los Angeles, but I wish you wouldn't blow it all to Beverly Hills. Technically, just what is smog, Paul?
It's a complex matter of dust, smoke, fumes, gases, vapors, a lot of things that combine in the atmosphere.
Has your outfit investigated the exact cause of smog?
Well, it's all these things, plus the what the chemists call the unsaturated hydrocarbons that oxidize in the atmosphere and are held in by a temperature inversion.
Well, don't look at me. I seldom do any of that stuff. I still don't understand why they call it smog.
Smog is a coined word from smoke and fog. Actually, smaze would be a better name for the Los Angeles product.
Well, I'm happy to see your outfit is doing something about the smog. After years of research, you finally decided to call it smaze. That's certainly going to get the curtains clean in my house. Well, you're a nice couple, and I hope you win lots of money here tonight. And while I think of it, drive the new DeSoto Fire Dome 8. First chance you get, it's a great car. Now, you're going to play You Bet Your Life. You beat our other couples, you'll get a chance at the $2,000 question. I can't tell you how much you have to win, but George, Fire Dome 8 is going to remind our listeners.
The first couple won $306. And the secret word is close.
All right, here we go. Let's see how high I can bid you $20. Each of these men played a prominent part in changing the history of their country. I'll give you the man's name, and you tell what country he was from. Here's your first question. How much are you going to go for?
$19.
19. Paul von Hindenburg was a soldier of what country?
Germany.
Germany is correct.
You have $39.
Remember, you're going for $2,000 now. Now, how much on you going to bet on your second question?
38.
38? All right, Helen.
That's right.
Benito Juarez was the leader of what country?
Mexico.
Mexico is right.
You've climbed to $77.
Here's your third question. How much of the 77?
76.
76. Leon Trotsky was famous in what country?
Russia.
Russia is correct.
You have $153.
And here's your last chance to beat the other couples. How much of the 153?
153.
153. From what country was Oliver Cromwell?
England.
England is right. Put it there, Paul.
You wind up with $306.
Thanks and good luck from the DeSoto Plymouth dealers.
We have a housewife from our audience and a man from the office of the price stabilization here tonight, Groucho. And I'd like you to meet them. Here they are, Mrs. Ola Batsol and Mr. Harvey Webster. Meet Groucho Marx.
Well, welcome for the DeSoto Plymouth dealers. Say the secret word and you'll win $100. It's a common word, something you see every day. Mrs. Ola Batesol. Well, I'm sorry to hear that. I don't object to the Batesol. It's the Mrs. that I find a little disquieting. Mr. Harvey Webster, how do you do? Where are you from?
Well, Ventura, California, but actually Southern California.
Are you married?
Very muchly so.
Uh-huh. What do you mean by very much so? Are you happily married? Or?
Well, yes. I have 7 children. I guess I'm married.
That's besides the point. Are you happily married? Ola Batesol, that's you, huh?
Yes.
Why is it all the beautiful women have such curious names? Zsa Zsa Gabor, Rita Ali Khan, Zazu Pitts. What kind of a name is Ola Batesol?
Ola is a Swedish name and Batesol is German.
Where are you from, Ola?
Houston, Texas.
That's one of the prettiest parts of Germany, isn't it? Ola, I want to be sure where we stand. Are you sure you're married?
Yes, I'm sure.
You don't have to be quite so vehement about it. What's your husband's first name?
Myron.
Imagine being married to Myron Batesol. I don't think I like this fellow, Ola. Where is he now?
He's in Canada.
Wow, now you're talking. Well, he can stay there as far as I'm concerned. What sort of work does he do?
He's one of the country's top wrestlers.
How far north is he in Canada? I mean, is he around Hudson Bay? Hudson Bay, man, I really around there. No, I'm only kidding. Is he really a wrestler?
Yes, he really is.
He is, eh? In that case, to my oldest daughter, Miriam, I leave my building blocks. And my new DeSoto Fire Dome. Ola, the first time you ever saw your husband, was it love at first sight?
No. I thought he was real funny looking. He weighs...
Why do you say that?
He weighs 325 pounds. He's 6'3", and he has a long black beard.
Sounds like a buffalo.
He looks like one in full dress.
What happened on your first day? Did he want to wrestle?
No, he took me to a wrestling match, and I was
threw you in the ring, I suppose.
No, I was really rather disappointed because when he made his entrance into the ring, I found out that he was the villain. He's just terrible. He snarls at the people, and they boo and hiss, and he bites their ears, and when the referee isn't looking, he puts these holts on them and wraps their legs in the rope, and he's really quite a mean guy.
I certainly don't blame you for marrying this fellow. He sounds irresistible. That's a strange name for a wrestler, isn't it? Myron Batesol. Most of them have ordinary names like Lord Blizz and Baron Leone and Terrible Turk. Does your husband have a professional name?
Yes, he's called the Cardiff Giant.
Well, he's a very famous wrestler, isn't he, the Cardiff Giant?
Yes, he is.
And you say he's in Canada now?
Yes, he's wrestling in Canada now.
And he will definitely not be home tonight?
No, he won't be home tonight.
Well, he doesn't scare me anyway. If he was in here right now, I'd set fire to his beard. Say, haven't I met you somewheres before? Didn't I say hello to you about a week ago?
Yeah.
Let's see, what was your name was Webster, wasn't it?
That's right.
Webster. What kind of work is it you do?
Oh, I'm with the Office of Price Stabilization.
Well, I'm glad to have you here. There's a lot I'd like to know about your outfit. How do you control prices?
Well, we follow out the mandates or the dictates of Congress and
Do you have many mandates while your husband's in Canada? What are some of the items controlled by the OPS?
Well, practically everything.
How about beautiful girls? Do you control them?
The only things that affect the cost of living.
You don't think beautiful girls affect the cost of living? Harvey, you're living in a fool's paradise. Well, you're nice people, and I'd like to go on talking to you two. But unfortunately, now it's time to play You Bet Your Life. What you have to do is run your $20 into more than our other couples, and you get a chance at the $2,000 question. I can't tell you how much you have to win, but George is going to remind our listeners.
Our first and second couples are tied at $306 each.
Here we go. Let's see how high I can build you $20. You selected former Academy Award winners. Here's your first question. How much will you bet? Decide between you and talk real loud.
Let's bet 20.
$20.
$20.
The lady said so.
All right. In 1938, the Oscar went to the actress who played a Southern belle in the picture Jezebel. What is her name?
Betty Davis.
Betty Davis is right.
On your way, you have $40.
Remember, you're going for $2,000 tonight. How much of the $40 will you try?
Aren't you glad we bet 20?
Yes, but...
40. That's better.
40?
You have $40.
Okay, $40.
$40. Who won the award in 1941 playing Sergeant York?
Gary Cooper.
Gary Cooper's right.
You now have $80.
Here's your third question. How much of the 80?
80.
$80.
Webster hasn't got any words for this. Who won the Oscar in 1945 playing the title role in Mildred Pierce?
Joan Crawford.
Joan Crawford.
You climb to $160.
Here's your last chance to beat the other couples. How much you going to bet?
$160.
All right. Who won the award in 1943 for his acting in The Watch on the Rhine?
Paul Henreid.
Talk it over now. Who won the award in 1943 for his acting in The Watch on the Rhine?
Claude Rains?
No, I'm sorry. It's Paul Lucas. You had half of it, huh?
You went broke, Groucho.
That's a shame. I'm just as sorry as you are, but I'll give you one more question. You get it right, and we bring your winnings up to $25. Are you ready?
Yeah.
What fruit is used in grape juice?
Well, I imagine grape.
Grange to him is right.
All that means, Groucho, this couple went broke. It means that our first two couples, who tied with $306, get the chance at the $2,000 DeSoto Plymouth question in just one moment.
Two couples?
Faster service by skilled mechanics. That's what you get at a DeSoto Plymouth dealers. And here's why. The master technicians who service your car are not only thoroughly experienced, but thoroughly trained. They get continual training, supervised by the factory. Recently, for example, more than 6,000 of these DeSoto Plymouth dealer mechanics attended 252 special training schools in all parts of the nation. Under the instruction of factory service executives, these men get additional training in all phases of repair and maintenance, and on the newest techniques of automotive service. This continuous training, in addition to their years of experience, naturally makes the skilled mechanics at a DeSoto Plymouth dealers the best qualified men to service your car. It means your car gets the finest care at a real saving to your pocketbook, when you take it where you see the famous sign of better service, the friendly sign of a DeSoto Plymouth dealer. And now here are the winning couples, Groucho, our first two couples who tied for the big question, the chance at the $2,000 DeSoto Plymouth question. Come on in, folks. You'll both get a chance at it.
All right, here we go with two couples tied for a chance at the $2,000 question. Now, each couple will decide on a single answer and write it down on one of these cards. If both couples get it right, we'll split the money between them. Okay, you have 15 seconds, and here's the question. At Balaclava, a small Russian seaport in the Crimea, there occurred a famous military attack in 1854. This attack is known today in song and story. For $2,000, what is it called? Write it down. All right, I'll take the cards and read them. Well, here is the answer. The charge of the Light Brigade, so this couple win the big money.
Mr. Grimes and the lady from the draft board won.
That's right, you win the $2,000, plus how much in the quiz, George?
$306 in the quiz, Groucho.
You won $2,306. Well, congratulations from the more than 3,000 DeSoto Plymouth dealers from coast to coast. You bet your life. Put it there again.
Be sure to tune in again next Wednesday night at the same time for the Groucho Marx Show, when the big question will be worth $1,000. And don't miss Groucho's television show, also presented by the DeSoto Plymouth Dealers of America. And remember, all dealers who sell DeSoto also sell Plymouth. Two great cars, both products of the Chrysler Corporation.
And when you drive in, tell them Groucho sent you. Good night, folks, and remember, see DeSoto Fire Domate tomorrow.
Folks, here's a reminder from the National Safety Council. Is safety a habit with you? You Bet Your Life, transcribed from Hollywood, is produced by John Goodell, directed by Robert Dwan and Bernie Smith, music by Jerry Fielding. This is George Fenneman signing off for the more than 3,000 DeSoto Plymouth dealers from coast to coast.
Ladies and gentlemen, the secret word tonight is paper. P-A-P-E-R.
Really?
You bet your life.
The more than 3,000 DeSoto Plymouth Dealers of America present Groucho Marx in You Bet Your Life, the comedy quiz series produced and transcribed from Hollywood. And here he is, the one, the only...
He's a waste of time. Oh, that's me. Well, here I am again with $1,000 for one of our couples.
We asked for some young people to volunteer tonight, Groucho. And just before we went on the air, Mrs. Amelia Mendez de Bitterline, Mr. Bill...
Stop ad-libbing.
I couldn't do it again. And Mr. Bill Albans were selected. And here they are. Folks, meet Groucho Marx.
Well, welcome for the DeSoto Plymouth dealers. Welcome for the DeSoto Plymouth dealers. Say the secret word and divide $100. It's a common word, something you see every day. Amelia Mendez, eh? And Bill Albans.
Yes, sir.
Where are you from, Bill?
Charlotte, North Carolina.
Charlotte, North Carolina?
Yes, sir.
How old are you?
I'm almost 28.
Almost 28. Well, you're a fine-looking lad. Are you married?
No, sir, I'm not. I'm single.
Do you care for the ladies?
Oh, yeah, man. I've been crazy about them since I've been that big. Huh?
What did you do about it when you were that big? Well, I'll see what I can do for you, Bill. Amelia Mendez, de Biddlin, huh? Where are you from?
Panama City, Panama.
Oh, from Panama, huh? Well,
Sir.
we've rarely had anybody from Panama. Where's your hat? Now, you know, people all over America are planning their vacations these days. Well, some of them may want to visit Panama. How would you suggest that they go, by ship or by plane?
I would suggest that they go by plane because it's faster, and then they could stop in several Central American countries as well as Panama. For example, they could go to Guatemala, to Nicaragua, and Costa Rica.
You say they'd visit Guatemala? How long would we stay in Guatemala?
Overnight or a day, or depends on how much time you have.
Just one day in Guatemala? Well, I guess that's right, that old saying, here today in Guatemala. Bill, where do you plan on going on your vacation this year?
Well, I'm going to try to be in Helsinki, Finland.
What's your language, Bill? There are ladies present. Why would you want to go to Helsinki, Bill?
Well, you see, that's where they're going to hold the Olympics this summer.
Oh, well, are you going as a spectator or as a participant?
I'm going to try to go as a participant, yes.
Oh, well, that's a very great honor to be on the Olympic track team. Have you had much experience?
Well, I was on our last Olympic team.
Well, congratulations. We're honored to have you. Just to be a contestant. What event will you win?
I was in the hop step.
Is this training for pedestrians? Are you planning on entering the hop, step, and jump this year?
No, I'm going to try for our decathlon team this year.
Well, what about this fellow up north? What's his name?
Yeah.
You know who I mean? What's his name?
I believe it's Bob Mathias.
Mathias, yeah. Well, are you going to have to compete against him?
Yes, sir, I think
Well,
I
that's
am.
tough going, isn't it?
Yeah.
He's supposed to be one of the greatest since Jim Thorpe and
I
Bay
believe...
Hendrickson, huh?
Well, he probably is the greatest, I guess, yeah.
And you'll have to go up against that? And you don't get any handicap or anything?
No.
I think you're very foolish. If I were you, I'd go to Panama. Well, it's been certainly pleasant talking to you two, and I hope you win lots of vacation money here tonight. Of course, in just 1 minute, you're going to play You Bet Your Life for a chance at the $1,000 question. Right now, I want you to pay close attention to some words of special importance.
Take the 5-mile trial.
Take the 5-mile trial.
Go in tomorrow to see your DeSoto Plymouth dealer and drive the new DeSoto Fire Dome 8 or the famous Power Master 6. Compare the DeSoto Fire Dome 8 with any car on the road today, not just on the straightaway, but going up steep hills and through stop-and-go city traffic and under all road conditions. You'll discover the sensational acceleration and reserve power of the new 160-horsepower DeSoto Fire Dome V8 engine at all speeds. It's America's most advanced engine design, giving you more power from every drop of gas and on regular gasoline. DeSoto full power steering takes the work out of driving, and when parking, it makes turning the wheel as easy as dialing a phone. Get the feel of DeSoto's full power steering, the only type of power steering that takes the work out of steering all of the time. Yes, go to your DeSoto Plymouth dealers tomorrow and take the 5-mile trial in the spectacular DeSoto Fire Dome 8 or the handsome DeSoto Power Master 6. And remember, all dealers who sell DeSoto also sell Plymouth, the low-priced car most like high-priced cars.
All right, now let's see how well you work together as a team. Fire Dome Fenneman.
Coming.
Give him that 160 horsepower motor and tell him the rules.
All right. You bet as much of your $20 as you want on each of 4 questions, and the couple that earns the most money gets a chance at the $1,000 DeSoto Plymouth question later on in the show.
Let's see how high I can bid you $20. Out of our list of 20 categories, you selected number 9, which happens to be cities with names of famous people. All right, now here's your first question. How much will you bet? And talk right out loud.
$18.
All right. Ohio's largest industrial city bears the same name as one of our former presidents. What is the name of this city?
Cleveland.
Cleveland, right.
And you're on your way with $38.
How much of the $38 are you going to risk?
I say 37.
It's all right.
37? A large city in Maryland was named for the founder of the state. What is the name of this city?
Lord Baltimore.
Baltimore is right.
You're climbing. You have $75.
Now, here's your third question. How much will you bet?
74?
74.
Okay.
What is the name of the Wyoming town founded and named by Buffalo Bill? If you don't know, guess.
Wyoming.
What is the name of the Wyoming town founded and named by Buffalo Bill?
Cheyenne.
No, I'm sorry. It's Cody.
Cody.
C-O-D-Y.
And you've dropped
That was
down.
Buffalo Bill's real name.
Dropped down to $1 now.
Well, here's your last chance to beat the other couples. How much will you bet?
Bet the buck.
Bet the buck. The largest city in Kentucky was named for a French king. What is the name of this city?
Louisville.
Louisville is right.
And you wind up with $2.
Nobody leaves here with $2. I'll give you one more question. You get this right, and we'll bring it up to 25. Who is buried in Grant's tomb? General Grant is right. Thanks and good luck from the DeSoto Plymouth dealer.
Groucho, we invited some young Groucho,
Where were you last night,
Groucho, we invited some young single Republicans.
You go right home and go to bed early tonight.
I will.
You've got to watch yourself now.
We invited some
And burn the candle at both ends, you know.
We invited some young single Republicans to the program tonight, along with some young single Democrats. And just before we went on the air, our studio audience selected Miss Shirley Palbaum and Mr. Mike Richardson. And here they are. Folks, meet Groucho Marx.
Well, welcome, youngsters, to You Bet Your Life. Say the secret word and divide $100. It's a common word, something you see every day. Shirley Palbaum, eh?
Right.
And Mike Richardson.
That's right.
I presume that's you, Mike
That's
Richardson?
my name.
A young Republican and a young Democrat. Mike, I think it'd be nice if you two held hands. Would you mind holding hands for just a second? Oh, go on.
Sure.
Hold hands with him. Now keep them that way. Don't let go.
We're too nervous.
It's the old joke. If they let go, they'll kill each other. How old are you, Shirley?
Well,
It isn't.
I look older than
It
I
isn't.
am.
It isn't obligatory. You don't have to answer. You look like a real young, attractive, pretty girl.
Thank you.
How old are you? How old are you, Mike?
I'm 31.
Now let's see. You're the Democrat. Is that right, Mike?
No, sir, that is not right.
That's becoming fighting words. You don't have to get angry. You'd think I'd call him a wife beater. You must be the Democrat, eh? Sure.
I certainly am.
Look how pleased she is. You think I'd call her Marilyn Monroe. How active a Republican are you, Mike?
Groucho, I'm the president of the Westwood Young Republicans.
What sort of work do you do, Mike?
I'm the purchasing agent for the Hardman Tool and Engineering Company. We build aircraft chairs.
What is your job, Shirley?
I'm a legal secretary. I work for Richard Richards, who's chairman of the Democratic County Central Committee.
You're not married?
No.
For a Democrat, you sound more like an independent. How about you, Mike? You married?
No, I'm not.
A single Republican and a single Democrat, eh? You two should get married by all means. You could have your own third party. Now, what's the purpose of the Young Republicans?
Well, we try to supply transportation to the polls. We do babysitting on Election Day. We stuff envelopes, make sure that thousands of pieces
Is that
of
all
letter-
you stuff? Are you sure you just stuffed the envelopes? That was a
Quite
Freudian
sure.
slip, if I ever heard one. What do you mean you provide transportation?
Well, on Election Day, I'd say some of our members make as many as 20 trips to the polls.
Well, don't the Democrats object? Or are they
Sure they-
busy making 21 trips to the polls? I'm strictly neutral in this battle because it happens I'm a Whig. Except on windy days when it blows off. Well, let's hear. Could we have a little sample campaigning? Mike, give me all the reasons I should vote the Republican ticket this year. And take all the time you want. You've got 30 seconds. Go ahead.
I would say you should vote the Republican ticket, first of all, for the obvious reasons you see in the newspaper.
You said paper, so you win $50, and your partner here, your mortal enemy, also gets $50. You can buy a lot of votes with this money.
Well, let's campaign some more.
It won't do you any good. The duck has run out of money. He's clean out of money. All right, let's hear the campaign speech. 30 seconds.
Hold my hand.
The young Republican is now on a different campaign. And a much smarter one, if you ask me. Well, Mike, that was a perfect political speech. I slept through every minute. Shirley Gailey, it's your turn now. You got half a minute to convince me I should vote the Democratic ticket. Now, go ahead.
I've always been a Democrat, and I expect to remain a Democrat. I think the Democrats are for the working people, which is quite evident today. The employment has risen to great heights. In the Hoover administration, we had depression. Now we've got...
Poor old Hoover. He's been out of office 25 years, and they're still hollering at him. It was a very impressive speech, though, Shirley. You have beautiful teeth. Well, enough of this petty talk about the fate of the nation. Let's get down to important matters. You two already are, I notice. Huh? What kind of a girl are you looking for, Mike?
Well, I'm looking for what I would consider a wonderful girl, the type that I would think as much of on Sunday as possibly on Saturday night. I'm looking for the type who would revere me.
That's a new approach. I've never heard that. Now, how would Shirley differ on Sunday than she would on Saturday night?
I think she'd be fine on Sunday.
What about Saturday night?
Just as good.
He's a politician, all right. Now, suppose she happens to be a Democrat, this dream girl that you're pursuing. Hmm?
Well, I hope that in time we might sort of think alike politically.
I'm sure you will, and my boy, you're going to make an excellent Democrat. Congratulations, kid, and I'll pronounce you man and wife. And Shirley, you can be the Speaker of the House.
Thank you.
You can run things on the floor, Mike, like the vacuum cleaner. And may you have lots of little planks in your platform. Well, it's been very nice talking to you two, and I hope in November the best man wins, even if it's a woman. By the way, there's one thing that's definitely a winner, and no matter what party you belong to, and that's the new DeSoto Fire Dome 8. It's a real great car. All right, forget your differences now. You're going to work together for a chance at the $1,000 question. You beat our other couples, and the chance is yours. Is that fair enough?
Fair enough.
Fenneman, remind our listeners how things stand up here.
The girl from Panama and her partner won $2. And the secret word is paper.
Here we go. Let's see how high I can build you $20. You selected resorts of the United States. These resorts and towns are visited by thousands of tourists each year. Here's your first question. How much will you bet? Talk up.
We're going to bet the whole $20.
I
Republicans are shooting the works this year.
They're not only shooting the works, they're shooting the Democrats. All right, in what state do you find Atlantic City?
New Jersey.
New Jersey is correct.
And you're on your way with $40.
Remember, you're going for $1,000 tonight. Now, how much of the $40 you going to risk now?
$40.
$40. In what state do you find Cape Cod?
Massachusetts.
Massachusetts.
You climbed to $80.
Here's your third question. How much of the 80?
The whole thing.
The whole works. In what state do you find Sun Valley?
Idaho.
Idaho is right.
You now have $160.
Here's your last chance to beat the other couples. How much of the 160 are you going to try?
The works.
In what state do you find the Catskills?
New York.
New York is correct.
And you wind up with $320.
Well, thanks and good luck from the DeSoto Plymouth dealers. Mike is cooked. I can see it in her eyes.
We asked for married couples with interesting backgrounds and stories to volunteer tonight. And just before we went on the air, Mr. and Mrs. John Caldwell were chosen. And here they come. Folks, meet Groucho Marx.
Welcome for the DeSoto Plymouth dealer. Say the secret word and you'll win $100. It's a common word, something you see every day. Mr. and Mrs. John Caldwell, eh? John, where are you from?
I was born in Fort Worth, Texas.
How old are you, John?
I'm 33 years old.
Mrs. Caldwell? That's you, huh?
Yes.
What's your first name?
Mary.
Mary. Well, John and Mary, eh? Where did you ever get such unusual names? Where were you born, Mary?
Yorkshire, England.
Oh. Yorkshire? Were you born inside of a pudding? If you're from England and John's from Texas, where did you meet him?
Well, I met him down under. Well, no, in Sydney, Australia.
Oh, you mean the Antipodes, huh? Mary, where did you get married, in Texas or down under Sydney?
No, we were married in Sydney, but the day we were to be married, John was up in Brisbane, and that's 600 miles away.
John was 600 miles away? John is no fool. Where were you heading, Johnny? Towards Alaska?
No, I was up in Brisbane trying to get a plane down to Sydney for my marriage that afternoon.
Where did you go on your honeymoon?
Well, that's the sad part. We didn't.
As a rule, it isn't. But however, I'm willing to listen to any story.
We didn't have a honeymoon because 3 days later I shipped out in the Merchant Marine.
How long were you separated from your bride?
Oh, a long time. This ship that I left on was wrecked up in New Guinea, and then I was put aboard another ship that went around the world and touched in about every port except an Australian port, and eventually I wound up in New York City more than a year after having seen my bride, and naturally feeling very cheated and wanting to get back down there.
Well, what happened? Here you are in New York, and she was in Australia.
Well, she couldn't get over here, and I couldn't get down there on a ship, so I thought if I went down to Panama, I could get a British ship, but when I got down there, I couldn't, so I bought a little 29-foot sailboat and thought I'd try, sail it to Australia.
Well, tell us about your boat trip. How many other lunatics were aboard?
Well, that's sad, too. I was alone.
You were alone?
Yeah.
Well, what about at night? Did you have to sleep?
Yeah, but that little boat did all right. I'll tell you about it. The trouble was that I'd never sailed a boat before.
Well, that's certainly the right equipment to go around the world. I think a fellow's crazy to have any experience in a thing like that. Just buy a boat and sail around the ocean. Huh?
I had a book on how to...
You were foolish to do it in a boat, though. You should have done it on a log or something. Pogo stick or something, exciting.
I had a couple of books aboard, though. I had a book on how to sail.
Well, that's good. That's really all you need.
No, because
what about at night when you wanted to sleep? What'd you do?
Well, I had a book on how to navigate.
Well, you read this while you were sleeping?
No.
Did you have a motor on this thing?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Gasoline motor? And did it work all right all the way through?
After 5 days, it conked out. Pulled a shark aboard, and he banged away the cockpit and got his head on the engine and broke spark plugs off. And an engine, but I had sails.
But you had the shark then for company, didn't you? After the shark play cards or something? I mean...
No,
this wasn't a card shark, huh? You meet them on boats, You gotta be very careful when you're traveling, huh? So?
Well, I got past the Perlas Islands nearby Panama and past the Galapagos, that's 1,000 miles away, and past the Marquesas, that's 4,000 miles out into the Pacific. But I had some tough luck. After leaving the Marquesas, I ran into a hurricane and I was dismasted. Of course, most of my food was destroyed, my compass was broken, the sextant was no good, and putting the boat under a jury rig, I just drifted helplessly.
How long did you drift?
49 days adrift in the South Pacific, looking for land.
Did you have enough food and water for this emergency?
Well, the food gave out very soon, and of course you start getting hungry. And I got so desperate I ate the moss off the side of the boat, and I finally found a jar of Vaseline, and that really wasn't so bad, and face cream, and I made a slingshot and knocked down a seabird, but I was using nuts and bolts from the engine and ran out of nuts and bolts. And of course, by that time, things were getting to
Getting
grim.
pretty involved, I guess. Up to then, it was a picnic, huh? There's one thing I want to know. Did you live through this ordeal? And if not, where are you now?
Remote island of Tuvada in the exploring islands of eastern Fiji.
Yeah.
And finally, they took me off to a Cooper schooner and then to the main island, and I connected with a bomber to Australia. But, of course, when I made this date with Mary at the time I left Panama, I told her I was leaving on the smallest boat I'd ever been on with the smallest crew. And I'd be there in 6 or 7 months while I was 3 months late when I got there.
I bet she was pretty angry, too, huh? Well, you've had enough adventures to last a dozen lifetimes. You realize, of course, you could have avoided all this trouble if you'd met each other at Catalina. Although, don't think you can't get in trouble in Catalina. Well, you're a nice couple, and I hope you win lots of money tonight. Because right now you're going to play You Bet Your Life for a chance at the $1,000 question. Are you ready?
Sure.
All you got to do is run your $20 and more than our other couples. I can't tell you how much you have to win, but George is going to remind our listeners.
The young Democrat and the young Republican are ahead with $320.
You selected nautical terms as your category. Here's your first question. How much will you bet?
All of it.
All of it. What is the after part of a ship called?
Stern.
Stern is right.
You have $40.
Remember, you're going for $1,000 tonight. How much of the $30 will you try this
40.
time? $40.
All of it?
$40?
I'm the skipper on the boat, but...
What is it called when you change the course of a vessel by shifting the position of the sails?
Tack.
Tack or tacking. That's right. You keep on.
You now have $80.
How much you betting? The whole thing?
Yes.
What do you call the ship's diary or journal?
The log.
Logbook is right.
You climbed to $160.
Here's your last chance to beat the other couples. How much of the 160?
All of it.
All of it? What is the left side of a ship called?
Port.
Port is right.
You wind up with $320. And that means that you're tied with the young Democrat and the young Republican, who also have $320, and you'll both get a chance at the $1,000 DeSoto Plymouth question in just 1 minute.
Repair bills are the price you pay for not lubricating your car properly. And you can avoid so many costly repairs by driving your car into a DeSoto Plymouth dealer's for a lubrication checkup every 1,000 miles. Depend on it. You'll get more than just an ordinary grease job. More than just a change of oil in the crankcase. The men at your DeSoto Plymouth dealers work to exacting factory specifications. And that's your assurance of a proper, complete lubrication job. In fact, no matter what the job, from an engine tune-up to a major repair, you'll get the same thoroughgoing attention. Because your DeSoto Plymouth dealer knows your car best. His master technicians are thoroughly experienced and trained in factory methods. They use the finest tools and equipment available. And if your car should need parts, your DeSoto Plymouth dealer can supply you immediately with the right factory-approved parts. So, whether you're interested in a lubrication job or a repair job, big or small, you can be sure of this. You'll get top service. Fast, efficient, and courteous service wherever you see the friendly sign of a DeSoto Plymouth dealer. Well, here come the two couples who are tied for our big question tonight, Groucho. The young Democrat and the young Republican, and Mr. and Mrs. Caldwell. Come on in here, folks. Get in here all together and...
Here's where you all sail the 7 seas.
Each couple, it says on our card here, Groucho, will decide on a single answer and write it down on one of the cards they have in their hands. Now, if both couples get it right, they'll split the money between them. Okay?
You have 15 seconds, and here is the question.
In 1894, a French army officer was found guilty of betraying army secrets and was sentenced to Devil's Island. Through the efforts of Emile Zola and others, his case aroused public opinion, and he later was pardoned. For $1,000, what is the name of this celebrated French officer?
Nothing there?
No answer? Let's see the answer. The correct answer is Alfred Dreyfus.
Oh, of course.
That's pretty easy, too. Well, you lost the big money, but how much did they win in the quiz, George?
Well, they went the limit, $320 each.
Well, congratulations, and thanks to both of you and to all of you and to all of our contestants on the show tonight.
Congratulations. Be sure to tune in again next Wednesday night at the same time for the Groucho Marx Show. And don't miss Groucho's television show, also presented by the DeSoto Plymouth Dealers of America. And remember, all dealers who sell DeSoto also sell Plymouth. 2 great cars, both products of the Chrysler Corporation.
And when you drive in, tell them Groucho sent you. Good night, folks, and remember... See DeSoto, fire don't mate tomorrow.
Folks, here's a reminder from the National Safety Council. Don't stick your neck out in traffic. You Bet Your Life, transcribed from Hollywood, is produced by John Goodell, directed by Robert Dwan and Bernie Smith, music by Jerry Fielding. This is George Fenneman signing off for the more than 3,000 DeSoto Plymouth dealers from coast to coast.